In this 25th anniversary year of September 11th, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation continues to honor America's heroes. Heroes like Fire Lieutenant Michael Wells, who was inspired by 9/11 to serve his community. After 14 dedicated years of service, he lost his battle with occupational cancer, leaving behind his wife, Katie, and their 3 children. Tunnel to Towers honored Lieutenant Wells by paying off the family's mortgage in recognition of his sacrifices. Donate $11 monthly and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.
I didn't think the pain from the shingles rash would affect simple, everyday tasks like bathing, getting dressed, or even walking around. I was wrong. Though not everyone at risk will develop it, 99% of people over the age of 50 already have the virus that causes shingles, and it could reactivate at any time. I developed it, and the blistering rash lasted for weeks. Don't learn the hard way, like I did. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today. Sponsored by GSK.
Feisty, fearless, and fair. She's an Emmy-winning journalist from the White House to war zones, telling all sides of the story. This is the Rita Cosby Show. Breaking news.
And tonight on the Rita Cosby Show, it's only hours till polls are going to open in a number of states, some big primary races taking place tomorrow, and we'll have all the results tomorrow night. South Dakota's got some, New Mexico has some, New Jersey has some, Montana, Iowa, and then, of course, the mother lode in California. And if you look at what's going on in the Golden State, this is pretty wild between the mayor's race and also the governor's race. Now, tonight in the governor's race, Steve Hilton, who is right there, if you look at it, literally like number 1 or number 2, depending on different polls, is asking Chad Bianco, who is in number 4 in a lot of the polls, to drop out. He's saying, would you please drop out so then we could coalesce and ensure that at least a Republican makes it, because the top 2 make it in the California races. It's this jungle primary. No matter what sort of political aisle you're on, whoever the number 2, 1 and 2, go forward and make it to the general. So you've got all that going on in the governor's race. And then you also have on the flip side in the mayor's race, you've got Spencer Pratt. You've got a DSA woman who makes Zoran Mondani look like Clint Eastwood. And then you've got Karen Bass, of course, the current mayor, who's done such a lousy job. And if you look at all the stuff, Spencer Pratt really put together him and like some of his super PACs have put all these really powerful ads. Here's just a little bit from Spencer Pratt. This is an AI hospital ad. It's the funniest thing. You see them like a patient on the bed and the doctor saying, "What's going on?" And she said, "I have the Pratts." So listen to this.
Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, please. My daughter, she's sick.
Spencer Pratt is the common sense choice for Los Angeles. Just look around. The city is a mess and our leaders have failed us. Homelessness, crime, drugs, everything is worse under Karen Bass.
This is bad. She's caught the Pratt. How did this happen?
We restrict her media diet. New York Times, MSNBC, NPR, maybe CNN if we're feeling frisky. Something must have slipped through.
Does she know anyone at all, who thinks for themselves?
I don't know. I don't think so. What is this?
It starts with a mild cough. And then, next thing you know, you hate seeing homeless drug addicts inject near kids. It's very contagious. I'm going to prescribe 4 doses of NPR every hour on the hour, 2 doses of the New York Times, and 5 doses of the LA Times.
Why was Karen Bass in Ghana while the city was burning?
6 doses. 6 doses of the LA Times.
6 doses. Gosh, that's a lot of pressure on you. 6 doses. No, 7, 8, 9. I've got the Pratt. But he had some really great ads. And there is a very good chance that he could make it. Even the fact if they make it to the top 2. And who knows, maybe take it all. Maybe this is the year because people are so disgusted with what's happening in Los Angeles and the crime and the homelessness. And then you move on to the state of California. Same thing. The illegal immigration, all of those different issues, all of those things adding up because this maybe is the year. even in a state that is blue, 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 like California, there have been exceptions. I mean, you think about Arnold Schwarzenegger, think about Reagan. I mean, there have been exceptions, not a lot of them, but there have been a few of them. And maybe this is the year. But listen to California Congressman Ro Khanna, a Democrat. He says, yeah, there's a lot of problems. And then suddenly he goes to Trumpitis, Trump derangement syndrome. Take a listen.
When it comes to the LA race, Karen Bass and you see Spencer Pratt, what do you think we're learning about how Californians feel about the incumbents in general?
Well, look, I think that there is was a lot of hurt and anger after the fires. My view is that the blame of that really needs to go on Donald Trump. They still owe the state $50 billion. They have not worked with Mayor Bass or our governor to get the resources needed, and they have really punished California. But understandably, people who still haven't seen their homes rebuilt, who were upset with how that was handled, they are upset with the incumbents.
Yeah, they're upset with the incumbents, but then he goes back to Trump. I mean, these people have not the Pratt. They got Trumpitis. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. And you are listening to The Rita Cosby Show. Let's go to Max in Manhattan on line 4. Go ahead.
Yes, Rita. Thank you for taking my call. You know, if you want to get rid of Mamdani, you just have them show that you can dig up their ties to the Muslim Brotherhood or CARE, Council of American Islamic Relations. All of these Muslim officials, they all have ties to these organizations. Governor Abbott made these two organizations illegal and designated them as terrorist organizations, and he was able to go after them because he did this. We could do the same thing and get him out of here in a month.
Well, the problem is, and you know this, Max, they're not going to do that because he was elected. The probably best bet for those who have a lot of questions about Mamdani, and I certainly do, and I think anybody with a common sense does, as you look at it, you have to look at the governor's race. It takes even more importance on a Bruce Blakeman coming in because he can remove the mayor immediately. He can remove the mayor and the DA. And I don't see Kathy Hochul doing anything to remove Mamdani. Do you, Max?
Well, no, and that's probably because she has a lot of internal pressure against her doing that.
Yep.
So the more that we call up your show or Dominic's show and we spew that what I just was telling you, the more of us that are doing this on a consistent basis, the easier it is going to be to get him out on his keister.
Yeah, and you know what, Max? I also appreciate you speaking out because I agree with you. And I also think the more he is showing himself, you know, a lot of people heard him say a lot of stuff on the campaign trail. And there were a lot of people who said, oh, he's just sort of saying that, or I don't know if he really means that. Is that really right? I'm not really sure. So when you hear that, and now they're seeing that, wow, he's even more strident on his anti-Israel views, even more anti-Semitic, I believe, than even like a lot of people thought. I said on the campaign trail, and you guys remember this, while he was campaigning, I said he is a true believer. I always saw that because of his rhetoric and his actions and his family, the comments from his father especially saying, you know, suicide bombers essentially weren't that bad, trying to kind of explain them away. I thought he grew up in a household of true believers. He married a true believer. And I believe that he was a true believer. And that's why I didn't think it was just sort of rhetoric. I actually thought it was dangerous, very dark rhetoric that was clearly, in my mind, anti-Semitic and anti-police. And sadly, Max, he's living up to that. But I think more people are starting to wake up to it. A lot of people were shocked that he didn't go to the Israel parade. I was shocked because no mayor has ever not gone, and it's the role of a mayor. And he keeps claiming, oh, I represent everybody, but I hate Israel. But I'm not anti-Semitic, but I hate Israel. I want to boycott their products, but I like the people. I mean, he keeps trying to have it all ways. And he never ceases to, I guess, stun us all. And then now with Ed Koch with this bridge, thinking, okay, no, we're not going to do, maybe we'll get rid of the bridge name. This guy through and through is a true believer and a true diehard. And I think people are starting to wake up to it, and they're fed up. And then they're fed up with the taxing on the second homes, his attitude of like, I don't have to even really talk to these people. If they don't want to stay, see ya. I think all of these things are adding up, and it's really becoming such an unlivable situation. What do you think, Max? Do you think people are fighting, sort of having an epiphany now that maybe they should have had many months ago?
You know, it's good that he's opening his mouth and telling us what he thinks, because the sooner he does that, the faster he does this, the faster he'll be out. And mind you, we're a bit slow on things on the uptake here, because this is the 10th Muslim mayor. Prior to this, we have 9 Muslim mayors in England who are pretty much doing the same thing, and they're pushing for Sharia law. Tommy Robinson's been speaking about this for a long time, and no one's mentioning his name on a daily basis.
No, that's a good point.
He has a big pair of basketballs, got thrown in jail, but he's pointing out the rapes that are happening by the Pakistani to young British girls who are about 16 years old. And for the longest time, no one was listening to him. Now he's making some headway. But with us, we've seen, at least some of us have seen this happening with 9 previous Muslim mayors in England, and now we have the 10th one. We have it.
It is scary. No, you're right. By the way, Max, I don't know if you heard, but earlier, like on Katz and Cosby, we were talking, John and I were talking with Bill O'Reilly, and he had just come back from London. And this shocked me. He said that he's aware of 60 Sharia courts in England. 60 at least. I mean, that is scary. So if somebody in, these sort of Muslim enclaves, if they get busted, they don't take them to a regular court. They take them to a Sharia court. So do you think like a woman who maybe wore like a revealing shirt, or kissed a guy who wasn't her husband, or kissed a guy and she hadn't been married yet even, that's a no-no even in Sharia. What are they, stoner right there? I mean, this is what we're dealing with, that they have their own laws. And believe me, they're not favorable to women. They're definitely not favorable to gays. They're not favorable to a lot of people. And they have their own little enclaves. Is this what, like Mondani and others want in New York City? That's trouble. Yes, don't you think, Max? That's scary. And that's in London.
But, Rita, let's not forget about what you have in Sharia law, where you have female circumcision. That means that you have a woman's clitoris being cut out. I think we should advertise all of this to all the pink-haired and blue-haired females who think they're feminists. Let them see what this is like and see if they're in favor of it. Right.
Well, you know what? And you know what I think of, Max? It's like when I saw these protests in New York City, you'd see these guys with these gays for Gaza sign. And I'm like, what is that? Like chickens for KFC? I mean, it is so lunatic. They are so disconnected and so unaware. And I just hope some of these things are an enormous wake-up call, because the last thing we want are Sharia courts in New York City. No, thank you. Max, thank you. Really great call. Great to hear from you. Let's go to Susan in Corning, New York on line 2. Go ahead, Susan.
Okay, well, Rita, this is going to be, I heard you today on Katz and Cosby. You're speaking about,
hey, Susan, you're a little muffled. Can you get a little closer or away from the speaker? I'm not sure what you're doing, but can you clear it up a little?
Oh, I'll try.
Yep, much better. There it is. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So you were speaking about, the governor's race in California, and it's definitely a bellwether. And this Becerra, Xavier Becerra, who's now going ahead, his background, his recent background, Health and Human Services. You spoke today, and you have many times, about the 300,000 to 400,000 children under his watch that came in and were not vetted and have had that is on his that's his legacy, and it needs to be brought out during this race, because he's hiding behind it. He should have never been in that position. He has no background in that, and that this is one of the most biggest disgraces ever. And thank you, Rita. You're the best. You're such a great investigative reporter. such an amazing host on all this. And I'm going to try to get in touch with you because I've been following this. Also, during the COVID, when he's a globalist, he was in bed with giving away our sovereignty during the World Health Organization. I saw all that on video, and I really want to re-expose that.
Yeah, no, that's important stuff, Susan. And by the way, thank you for your sweet words too, so much. You're just awesome, and I really appreciate it. You are always also fighting the good fight, and that's why we love you. 1-800-848-9222. Everybody, we will continue right after the break.
You're listening to The Rita Cosby Show.
Let Century Management Solutions get you to your next medical appointment. They specialize in non-emergency medical transportation, connecting patients to care, safety, reliability, and on time. Their advanced technology platform seamlessly coordinates patients, healthcare providers, insurers, and transportation partners all in one powerful network. With over 200 trusted transportation providers, they deliver scalable solutions backed by real-time tracking and complete transparency. Go to SENTRYMS.com.
This is The Rita Cosby Show. Breaking news.
And this is very interesting. You know, we have talked about these missing scientists that have suddenly disappeared or died. Well, the body of one of them has turned up. She went missing about a year ago, Melissa Casillas. She is a worker at Los Alamos National Lab, working with some of the top secret nuclear and other programs. And apparently her body was found in the New Mexico National Forest, and it was found by a hiker suddenly. And next to her body was a handgun, but the cause of death has not been revealed. That's very odd. You find a handgun. They said it looked kind of suspicious, and apparently cause of death not revealed. You would think that would be fairly easy if there was a handgun, but there's a lot of questions here. And this is a young woman who apparently was very happy. And it comes as a stream of about a dozen others suddenly missing or died. There was also that general who just suddenly disappeared from his home, took his gun, but left his phone and wallet. So if you're going to go and do something, wouldn't you take your phone and wallet with you? So there are just so many interesting things here and troubling trends. We'll keep you posted, but the body of one of them has been found next to a handgun, again, in a very remote area. Cause of death not reported yet. That's interesting. Let's go to Tom in New Jersey, line 4. Go ahead, Tom.
Hey, good evening. All right, it seems like Mondani's doing whatever he wants, and his people are setting up camp all over the United States. We're talking about it on all kinds of programs, but there doesn't seem to be anything that's being done about it. And the more time that goes by, things will get worse.
So what do you think should happen, Tom?
And I don't know. I really have no idea, but it just seems like at this moment in time, things are getting worse as we speak.
Yeah, I agree. It's getting more troubling, and there are sort of other Mondanis, and I think he started the trend. I think Bernie Sanders and AOC say, okay, we got one in New York. Now let's try to go elsewhere.
Rita Cosby is on. Breaking news.
And just in, President Trump endorsing missing Republican Congressman Tom Keene, who a lot of people say they haven't seen him on the campaign trail. Tomorrow is the New Jersey primaries, along with California, Iowa, and some other races. So very interesting. But President Trump giving his endorsement to Congressman Tom Keene. Meanwhile, everybody is talking about all this stuff related to Graham Plattner and his sexting scandal. And by the way, he also was on this site. It's this app called Kick, which apparently is mostly young people, young boys and girls. And apparently he has had an active account and still has an active account, despite people saying that he was off the account, that he got rid of it a while ago. And apparently one of his profile pictures, you guys, it was seeing way too much of him in a towel. He was there. That was one of his profile pictures on Kick. I'm sorry, from the neck down. What does that say? To me, I'm sorry, it sounds like a pervert. That's my opinion. And what is he doing on a website, an app that is for young people? You are married? This is really disgusting. And apparently he still has this active account. And then, of course, everybody is talking about these allegations that he was sexting six women other than his new wife at the time. They got married in 2023. And apparently some of these sex messages or pictures, we don't know which, apparently that was last year. So it seems like a really loyal, wonderful family man. And believe it or not, he is still the candidate. That's what's so shocking. He is still the candidate. And next Tuesday, as far as we know, he will still be in the race. There is a chance, by the way, in Maine. This is interesting. In Maine, they have something in their, in their sort of state constitution, if you will, that essentially says they can replace the candidate after the primary. They have, I think it's about a month or so, if the candidate on their own drops out, and then they can put somebody else in. The state party could put somebody else in. So they may do what I call now a verb, a Kamala Harris. They may do an old switcheroo. Who knows? Just like they did with Joe, because things are looking really, really bad. But they desperately want to keep this seat. They'll even keep a Nazi-loving guy who cheats on his wife and hates women and hates gays and hates veterans and police on the docket, it seems. But take a listen, because Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey said the quiet part out loud when he was on ABC News this weekend. Take a listen.
Marquee Senate races, of course, is in Maine, where the Democratic presumptive nominee, is Graham Plattner. Been a lot of allegations against Graham Plattner, including the very latest, a controversy the Wall Street Journal's reported on, alleging that Plattner's wife, Amy, flagged sexually explicit texts between Plattner and half dozen other women to the campaign during the vetting period. And in a video posted on X, his wife, Amy, said they love each other deeply, they have a great marriage, and they've been getting counseling. But let me ask you, do you have concerns with the weight of all these controversies that it may jeopardize Democratic hopes to get that Senate seat in Maine?
Yeah, I have concerns. That guy has questions to answer, and that's what campaigns are for. But when I go all over New Jersey and see hundreds and hundreds of thousands of New Jerseyans losing their health care and millions more seeing their health care costs go up, as I have families who say I can't afford gas for my car and childcare for my children, I know that so much is riding on Democrats taking control of the Senate, that this election, if we do not get the votes necessary to take care of the House and the Senate, we will continue to have an out-of-control president. And I'm going to tell you right now, as he is a lame duck president, he's becoming more and more dangerous. Just look overseas at the war we're in, the lives being lost, the billions being spent, and now he is shamefully trying to crawl back and try to get us back to where we were before the war even started. This man is dangerous, and it's time that we take back the Senate, and that's what I'm focused on.
So all I care about is the Democrats keeping the Senate. Forget morality, forget values. I'll put, the worst of the worst. As long as we can keep the Senate, as long as we can get the Senate in this case, that's all that matters. As long as we have a chance, because Maine is key. actually. A lot of people are looking at the races and the dynamics, and they say they essentially have to flip Maine, have to overtake and knock out Susan Collins, the incumbent, with somebody like a Graham Plattner or anybody to have control of the Senate as an option. A lot of people said they don't see a path with the Democrats if they can't do it. So Cory Booker saying the quiet part out loud. And in the meantime, this is just shocking. Graham Plattner's wife asked, obviously, to do a social media post. It just came out, by the way, in the New York Times, New York Post, rather. This is interesting, that Graham Plattner's wife, Amy Gertner, who you're going to hear from in a moment, has pulled in $30,000 from the campaign. So she is listed somehow as a campaign staffer on the campaign. It looks like she got paid. It's about $28,000, $29,000 by the Graham for Maine campaign. So she's on the campaign over a period of time, but still she is on the campaign payroll. That's interesting because right now it's like Tammy Wynette. She's standing by her man. Remember, oh no, my husband, but listen to what she says. And I always say this to you guys. I've done so many interviews in my day, and I always sort of listen to the way someone speaks. And I always say, oh, that's interesting. They didn't deny it. They always do the circular dance, sort of like the Kamala word salad, sort of like Mondani did on the campaign trail. But here is Amy Plattner. Plattner Graham now, they got married, remember, in 2023. So this horrible detail came out that she apparently told the former campaign manager that he had been sexting with 6 women at least. Apparently very provocative, racy stuff. Lovely. She's obviously for now standing by her man. And she was obviously asked by the campaign, can you go out there and defend him? Because this looks really, really bad. And here's what she said. She said, we have such a wonderful relationship. Listen to this.
I just really wanted to make sure that everyone knows that Graham and I have a great marriage. Being married is hard. Being newly married is hard. Being newly married and going through infertility is hard. Being newly married, going through infertility, and a Senate campaign is hard. I don't even know if I have the right words to describe what we've been going through, but our marriage counselor helps. My personal counselor helps. Graham's personal counselor helps. And we work on our mental health every day.
We're going to all need to work on our mental health after this campaign. For her to say, oh, newly married, the stress of marriage. So I guess it drives guys to sext, sending maybe private parts and very racy comments to, and who knows what else, to strangers. So, I mean, does anybody buy it? That's ridiculous. She's not denying it. Did you notice that? She's not denying it. And that's why she hasn't done an interview, because the obvious question is, did he do it? Did you indeed tell the campaign manager, hey, FYI, this could be a problem if this gets out? Apparently they had a meeting and said, is there anything we should know about your husband or any dirt out there that we should be aware of just to kind of preempt it or be ready or whatever? And she said, oh, yeah, there's this one thing. According to the former campaign manager, who now, by the way, is saying she's getting threats. But she came out and told, again, the New York Times and also the Wall Street Journal. So Amy Plattner not denying it, just saying, you know, almost like him with the tattoo that he had on for 18 years till he covered it. He still has it. He looked at it in the mirror every day and thought it was okay until politics said otherwise to him. Not his conscience, but politics. And now here is Amy Plattner blasting the media. Not her husband for sexting. Oh, no, he's great. Let's go after the media.
Makes me really angry, disappointed, and I find it really shameful that there's a group of media outlets and people who are willing to spread gossip instead of talking about real issues that Graham is running on, like healthcare and education and childcare.
That's amazing. Blaming the media for running with comments that you reportedly revealed to the campaign manager. Still not denying it. Do you notice that? Still doesn't deny it. Talks in these ambiguous circles. And here is Mark Thiessen. He was on Fox News earlier today. I think he summed it up pretty well because Susan Collins, he was saying essentially Graham Plattner should stay in the race so Susan Collins can clobber him come general election time. Listen to this.
Though I do know that Susan Collins tends to lose polls and win elections.
Okay.
So I don't think that this is dangerous for her. But think about this. His wife is disappointed, not in her husband sexting women, but she's disappointed in us for caring about it, right? And she's disappointed in people for exposing it for the voters to see. That's what she's disappointed in. I mean, that tells you a lot. I think it's great news for Susan Collins in that she couldn't have picked a better opponent. A guy, a sexual deviant, cheating sleazeball with a Nazi tattoo is probably who you want to run against. But I think you're right, Tommy, which is that things that used to be obviously disqualifying are no longer obviously disqualifying. You just look at Jay Jones in Virginia running for attorney general, chief law enforcement officer, who was threatening his fellow legislators in the legislature, saying he wanted one woman's children to die in their mother's arms. And he won, not just won, he won decisively 53-47, and the winning margin came from suburban women. I mean, if Jay Jones can win an election in Virginia with suburban women after what he did, then, I guess Plattner can do or say anything or tattoo anything he wants on his body and be fine.
What you're saying is there is no moral floor on the left, and I think you're exactly right about that.
Yeah, good point. There doesn't seem to be a moral floor. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Eduardo on line 5. Go ahead, Eduardo.
Yeah, a couple of things in California, Rita. Good evening. Chad Bianco needs to get out. The state Republican California Party needs to tell him to get out and give the chance to Steve Hilton. And Mr. Becerra, so this is the guy who was Department of Health. Remember when we had those caravans of illegals carrying these diseases like TB, infected a lot of people through Mexico. And then, of course, here in the U.S.
Yep.
And now that's the guy that's going to be leading the state of California, really?
Right. I mean, it's incredible. Like you just said, you're right. Allowed all those people to come in. Diseases, missing kids, that's under that jurisdiction. Hundreds of thousands of missing kids. Many of them sold into sex slavery, a whole bunch of really horrible things. And right, that's exactly who we want running California. It's actually shocking that guy is in the lead. And he wasn't even like almost anywhere in the race when Swalwell was there. Remember? It was Swalwell who was sort of leading the charge. And then he had a problem he had a Graham Plattner problem, put it that way, right? With gals. And then all that stuff came out, and boy, did he plunge. And then suddenly Becerra kind of came out of nowhere. And then you hear more about Becerra. You're like, God, this guy is nuts. And, the other thing, too, Eduardo, some of the people, even from the, Biden era, have come out and said that Becerra was the worst, that these are Democrats who didn't even say he was good. But I guess, it's like California. There's something in the water there. It's going to be interesting to see what's your prediction for tomorrow night? Because the polls are going to open in a few hours. What do you think is going to happen, Eduardo?
I think the Republicans are going to have an uphill battle. We can't forget that there's a lot of, obviously, Mexicans, the dominant group over there in California, will definitely go for Becerra big time. So that's going to be something to overcome.
Right. Well, and if the voting's free and fair, that's the other thing. A couple of the people have come out and said there shouldn't be any ID, that they don't believe in voter ID. That's nice. That was in the Texas. That was Tallarico, freaky Tallarico, and Texas was saying that. And then you had Eduardo, as we were just talking, from Tampa. I think it was Becerra who said non-citizens should maybe be considered allowed to vote. So did Karen Bass also say that in the mayor's race. I mean, the stakes could not be higher. It would be really incredible. We might see, I actually think, Eduardo, there's a good chance we might see Hilton make it to the top 2, because in the latest polls, you're seeing Becerra there. And I agree with you. He'll get a lot of the Hispanic vote. So I think that's going to happen. But Steve Hilton is right behind him in the polls. So let's see what happens. I do think, the presence, if the polls are right. Now, Chad Bianco believes the polls are not right. But if the polls are right, I agree. It may be a problem splitting the vote, and you see it in other places. You saw what happened in the New York City mayor's race. Say enough on that. Eduardo, thank you very, very much. And everybody, we're going to continue your calls after the break. 1-800-848-9222. But first, support our heroes.
The Rita Cosby Show presents Support Our Heroes.
And this is the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Support Our Heroes segment, with a very powerful story from Albany, New York, where Assemblyman Michael Cashman hosted Air Force veteran and Plattsburgh, New York native Star Burke at the Capitol there for the annual Women Veterans Recognition Day events. The veteran served for over 9 years in the U.S. Air Force between 1983 and 1992, serving during Desert Storm. She later went on to launch the Clinton County Veterans Feeding Veterans Program alongside the Veterans Services Agency. So someone who is giving back to veterans after leaving the military. Bravo to her. And of course, all of our great female and male veterans, and of course, their families. And everybody, help America to never, ever forget. We must never forget. Donate $11 a month to the absolutely incredible Tunnel to Towers Foundation. By the way, this is, of course, the 25th anniversary of 9/11. And Tunnels to Towers make sure that nobody ever forgets the sacrifice of heroes that day and those who have suffered since then. Be sure to check them out. They help America's heroes and their families. The great Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
You're listening to The Rita Cosby Show. It's The Rita Cosby Show.
Benjamin Netanyahu there apparently really getting the ire of Trump as they are continuing strikes in southern Lebanon. And apparently a lot of people are furious that there was a leak to Axios, which many people view as a great disservice to our country, because he was essentially telling Netanyahu, if it weren't for you, you might have been, if it weren't for me, you might have been in prison. Also, stand down, telling him to stop firing on Lebanon, of course, where Hezbollah is, because he's trying to get a deal with Iran. And whoever, I understand why some people are saying this is completely reckless of whoever is sort of leaking this as a source. Again, we don't know if the story's true, but apparently a source telling Axios that there was a very heated conversation where he scolded Netanyahu, and that is not a good thing at a time like this for the Iranians to see sort of that kind of a division also as well. So there's a lot of stuff. Real quick, let's go to Lou in Long Island, line 5. Go ahead, Lou.
Yes, good morning. I'm wondering what Mondami would rename the Koch Bridge. I always called it the 59th Street Bridge.
I bet, you know what? Here's my bet, Lou. Maybe he would call it the Hassan Piker Bridge, right? Because he seems to, or Mahmoud Khalil, who led all those pro-Hamas protests. I think he would pick one of those. Maybe Linda Sarsour, who's with the Democrat Socialists of America. All I can say is I wouldn't ride over that bridge then.
Sacco and Felice, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFelice.com. SACCOFILLAS.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.